Hey everyone, hope you can hear me. My name is Leslie Ohnstad. I'm the creator of ColorArte Products, and I'm your host of ColorPlay Live Tuesdays and Fridays at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and Saturdays at 9 a.m. And just waiting to see if the here on my device, make sure I can see you guys' answers and what everybody's saying. I see Mike and Catherine saying hello to everybody. So I believe we are on. All right. So for the last few days, going through all of these pigments here. Sorry, I've got something right up underneath my feet. It's caught on my chair. There we go. So it won't let me sit. My apologies. Going through all these trays and trays of samples that I've made over the years, I've run across some beautiful mineral blends. Hey, John, how's everybody doing? I see John is here, Renee is here, Marjorie Barnes is here, Patty Simmons is here. By the way, Patty Simmons is going to take her life in her hands and come and visit me tomorrow. And we're going to rip off the Band-Aid on what it's going to take to get me packed and moved out of here. So thank you, Patty, for agreeing to come and visit with me. Yeah, no, Heidi, no, I have not found Harley. And it's not a good subject right now. So yeah, Patty's going to come and help. And I'm not good at asking for help. I'm really terrible at asking for help, but I know I'm not the only one. A lot of people are not that good at asking for help. And now Teresa Lechner's also offered, I think, us ripping off the Band-Aid is going to make me more welcoming. Hi, Audra. Welcome, sweetheart, and welcome to wherever time it is in your zone. Also, Penny McCallahan offered to come with her daughter. And of course, when the offer came a couple weeks ago, I was still kind of unsure what we're going to do because she's got to spend the night somewhere where Patty actually has her father lives down here near me. So, but starting to rip off the Band-Aid is starting to rip off the Band-Aid. And as my friends Sherry and Catherine and Kathleen and my buddies and John, when we're talking off this, they've been on my butt saying, step up and ask for help. We know you're used to being alone, but we can't do everything alone in our life. So what have I got for you? So last broadcast, I had about 4 mineral blends under go under the Bling It line. Well, I have 14 here. And out of the 14, I'm going to pick 12 and we're going to make a Bling It set. I've also decided that I'm going to do a primer element set based on many of these colors that I'm discovering because these actually have my recipes written on them, right? So I think I'm going to do like a lost edition of primary elements, but the name we're toying with a Celestial Dragon set for the lost set. 12 really cool colors. And then yeah, Renee, but we've had one. He was lost in the house for 2 weeks, showed up on my birthday, June 8th, and he hasn't been back since, but we know he's in the house. He's somewhere here in the house, Renee. So we're going to release a 12-piece primer element set based on what I found. We're already toying with names like kings, scepters, dragons, lair, everything kind of dragon related because dragons have a tendency to find coins and scepters and jewels and hoard them. So I've learned, I've been taught in the last 48 hours. So we're going to do, I didn't really see the need to do another primer element set, but I know we need more blingets. Our mineral blends are kind of shy. Okay. But the primer elements, we have a nice assortment. But these colors I stumbled on are just so beautiful. Anyway, new primer element colors and new blingets coming. Now, I wasn't planning on continuing on my gourd today, but I know that quite a few have already have spent some money to go out and get a gourd, right? And try to do this. And so the challenge with getting colors on gourds, most gourd artists are using shoe leather dye. That's what they've used up till recently. And they're still always struggling to get color on this wood that is not very color friendly. But obviously, the Purely Pigments has enough color to it. A couple drops of that in varnish, and it is like, whoa, color. Well, I experimented a little bit this morning just to see what I could get out of some of these blingets. And so instead of just changing the table out and doing a swipe or some kind of blowout, we're going to go back to the gourd, which I know is a challenge after we look at these blingets. Now, what I've done is I've taken an 8 Dragon Jewels. That's a great name because then Celestial something. We thought the name Celestial might be good for the blinget set, but then everybody loves Celestial Dragon. But Dragon Jewels might be the great name for the Prime Element set, and then Celestial something or something Celestial for the blinget set, because the sets have to have names and each color has to have names. So what I did here is I took like I use freezer paper, wax paper. There is palette paper you can buy, but if you've got freezer paper or wax paper around your house, most of us do. I just taped off some freezer paper on the front side of an 8x10 little panel board. It's still got the plastic on it, right? So I have a little palette here that I can mix up my new mineral blinget colors and show them off to you. So, and then I'm going to use a couple of them on the gourd. I experimented a little bit this morning to see what would take. Again, I'm just going to do bits and pieces on the gourd. We're not going to paint whole. Celestial Sparkle, not a bad name. We already have Celestial Skies. That's the name of a color. Anyway, here goes. And I know a couple of them you'd already seen this weird green I showed you guys last time. Now, they're what I'm going to do is I've got paper to just kind of swatch them with water just to get an idea. But the ones I think I might actually use on my gourd, like this color right here, I know you can't see what it shimmers like, is actually this color here. So, but I'll, Celestial, that's not a Starshine, Celestial Starshine. What about just Starshine? Well, we've already got Stargazer. Stars. I want to make sure you guys can see all of these in this shot. So there's 14 colors here. Now I kind of did them next to one another when I stacked them up. Let me see how far down I can get this where you can actually see me play with the paper in the water. So when I did this, I kind of had 3 different blues I wanted to compare. One's a little bit dark and more sparkly. And to be honest, your own skin tone is almost the best way to see. Black skin is black. A black glove's not going to work. But for example, here's one that, and it's got some depth to it and a little smokiness to it, right? Here's the next one, a little bit paler, but a whole lot more sparkly. I'm in love with this color, but I'm also in love with that color, right? And then there's this one. So out of the 3, this and this one might look similar, but this definitely looks different. So I would be picking one of these 2, whichever one I think is the prettiest. And if it's too similar, obviously these would be 2 colors that are going to go into the set. Hey, Sherry. So we're showing off some of the blingets that I found. I'm going to mix some up on this palette, but instead of on the back of the glove, you really get in. If you've seen some of the, a lot of the Asians will do these images of chameleons and they paint them on their wrists. And they do this because sometimes skin tone, let me get a little alcohol and a paper towel so I can clean off that area so you can see what I'm talking about. Get that off, even though the color is pretty strong. So out of those two, I might pick these two, right? So then the next row, boy, I'm really loving this. Almost has a purple tone to it. It looks stronger in the jar than it is, but man, imagine if you had some purely pigments or you're mixing that in with some of the primer element colors. And then here's the color. I know I've already used this on the gourd already. It's kind of a really gorgeous aqua. I didn't find Harley yet. Nope. There's a really pretty aqua color, which I did use this on the gourd. We're going to mix that on the palette. Oh, here's a super sparkly one, even more sparkly than this one, but it could be that. It's going to give us lots of, well, that's gorgeous. So again, I'd have to compare this to any of the other blue ones I have, but we know these and these are very, very different and would definitely make it into the line. But yeah, that aqua is really pretty. We need to come up with names of these, or at least I do. You know, I can send them to the lab today because the recipe's already written on the jars. And then here's, now we're getting into like a pinky violet. This is so pretty. This is such a pretty color. I love these pretty colors. I wonder what, now that's kind of light on my skin. Let's see what that would look like on the black glove. So yeah, you'll see more of the pink and the violet tones in that one. But again, most of the time we're putting color underneath these. We're not painting with these by themselves, right? Yeah, I found 14 and I'm going to pick 12 of these and they will be released. I'm going to send the recipes to the lab this week because they're already done, right? Here's another really pretty blue sparkly one. It's not, ooh, that's pretty gorgeous on that glove. See, and you can see every color of the rainbow in there in the way that they're mixed. I know I want to use this one. I think I want to use this one on the gourd. This one has more of a red-blue. See if it shows up on my skin or if it shows up on the glove. Oh, yeah, look at that one. That's beautiful. That's definitely a winner. I just called it red-blue on the side. Right? Here's that strange putridy green one. Now, I tested it on the stems this morning. It's a little bit soft for that, but it still doesn't hurt to go back. Now, on my skin, it's a little light, right? Wonder what, again, we know these need color attitude. And what is going to look like in the glove. So the glove is going to pick up because it's black, is going to pick all the red and gold that's in there. Right? But I'm going to do this on my little palette so you can see what that color looks like. Okay, there's another one here. Now this looks like straight, oh my God, sparkle. It's almost like a diamond dust on, this says black pearl was what I called it. It's almost like a diamond dust on steroids, right? I mean, these colors are, and they've just been sitting on the shelf for, I don't know, since 2021 is probably when I made these. Now, this actually was a little bit golder than I thought it would turn out to be. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but on the body of the butterfly, this is going to be tricky sitting on top of the jars. I don't know if you'll see it, and I can show you later, but I used it on the body of the butterfly. Now you can't see it yet. I'm going to have to turn it just right, but it's a little bit strong of a gold, right? But it turned out, I'm going to do a swatch for this color, but I really like this blend of, it's kind of an opal / gold, but it even has violet in it. I mean, I can see all the colors written on the side here. Let's get that mixed up so you can take a look at that. Now, what I'm doing, how I'm going to use these today, is I'm simply just going to put a tiny bit of varnish in my cup. Just put some, well, it's not tiny, but a little bit of varnish, okay? And then I'm going to mix these like this is a paint palette. So I'm going to wet my brush with the varnish, grab this aqua that everybody said they liked, right? And mix up an aqua color here. And see, when you do it this way, you're not depending upon, did you put too much acrylic in it? Is it going to give you enough shimmer when you look at it, right? You want to be able to, maybe you can dip the brush back in and keep making it more into a creamy paste before you paint with it. I'm going to paint with this, but I've got too many jars sitting in front of me to drag the gourd over. But when I put this aqua down, I thought it was such a gorgeous color. I want you guys to see this gold. So again, brush is clean and dry. Put a little varnish on it, dip it right into the dry powder, and put it on the palette. And I'm making like basically a gilding paste out of this with varnish that I can brush on something and get that beautiful gold, right? You can also test this on cardstock. Like I tested most of these colors on cardstock. So I knew I wanted to use these two colors. I already played with these a little bit this morning. The one that has a purpley tone is interesting to me, but when I put it on my skin, it was kind of like, okay, it's all just about the sparkle. Is there not much color to it? This one I thought was interesting. That's pinky reddy one. It might need a little bit more of a pink color to it, but maybe, oh, no, look at that. That's got like a little jewel tone look to it. Woo! Oh, I don't know if you guys could see that. Let me get a little bit more powder on here. This one's pretty. Oh yeah, these are very different. Well, and they're blends I've made. See, most of the colored mica, pretty much 99% of the colored mica you're getting from other companies, they're being repackaged in China by a company that makes one color. They put it in a jar, they slap a label on it. They're not going to make blends. I'm the only one that's insane enough in California to pay my employees to actually turn them into custom blends for you guys. But I've been doing it for years, way before this whole pigment explosion happened. As a matter of fact, I've been playing with these things for the last 29 years. This is my 29th year playing with the pigments like this. Let's see if, now there's a couple other colors over here we didn't look at yet. There's a darker aqua, looks slightly a darker shade. There is kind of a strange putridy yellowy gold, almost a mustard. Let's see how I can get this to show up. I think I can do that. Not that I'm going to use it on my piece. I'm trying to stick the colors that I might actually use on my piece, but it almost has like, oh yeah, almost a greeny mustard. See how this looks more gold and this almost has a green tone, but it's not. Almost as if bronze was used to make it and gold was used to make this, right? This is definitely a keeper. I'm liking this color. So far, I'm liking these four for sure, the ones I put down. We know everybody's been falling in love with this green one since I've been showing it off. Let's do a little mix of that. I see a dragon in every color I show. Yeah, that's why this is not a bad, the theme, we can kind of do a dragon theme on both the sets, but see how this is very pale, but it's kind of got a green undertone to it. And yet the mica that sparkles in it is really, it's red and violet in there. But you paint it like this, and of course the green's going to dominate until you can get it just under the right light and see that sparkle. Yeah, I know I'm digging those colors. Now, out of what we got left here, we could try this one that looks red. Normally in mica, yeah, these two together is kind of interesting because that purple and lime green looks very interesting. This claims to have a color that should make me feel confident of a little bit more red in it, but I don't know until I get it out there because right now it just kind of looks like a, oh, there is a little bit of red in there. Not much, but a little bit of red in there. It makes that copper a little bit richer. I make sure I have enough of the varnish in there for us to see what it looks like. It's not as pow as the others. Let's see what this one looks like, because this has a red, but I know you can't really see it because there's not much left in it. But it's kind of got a violet red, weird, changeable, shifty red blue on it. Let's get some of this out and see what this looks like. Now, these ones that have that red bluey thing going on like this, I have a couple primary elements like this. All you do is add a little bit more of a red or a blue and the color just pops. Like if I was to mix this with Dancing Fuchsia, not a bad idea. It would be absolutely stunning mixed with this color because it's already lending itself to that. It's kind of got that strange pinky tone to it, right? It's very different than anything else I've ever made. I don't know which one looks more purple. I do like this one just because it's like glitz, glitz, glitz all over the place. But we haven't tried this one yet. Let's see what this does. I'm hoping it gives us some color. Yeah, when I focused on the bling it line, so much of it, oh yeah, there's some nice color. Ooh, look at that. Ooh. Oh my goodness. Every color of the rainbow going ping, ping, ping on top of that blue. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm liking that one. Definitely like that one. 2, 4, 6, 7. You're seeing it firsthand, me picking and choosing right on camera. This is definitely a winner. I love this color. Bada bing, bada boom, ba ba boom. Now, let's see what this darker aqua looks like. Is there enough room for the pale aqua? Very, very pale aqua. And this one is a darker aqua. We'll see. You know, I made it. I must have felt like I needed to either go darker or lighter when I was doing these because I justified myself making both of them. Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that. Can you see that color? Oh, that's a completely different aqua. This one's very pale, light blue. This one has more green. I like it. Okay, yep, that would, this is easy. 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Bling it, bling it. Woohoo! Okay, you guys can think I'm in that case now. Now, one of these is a smoky blue and one's a little bit less smoky. Let's see what this smoky color looks like first because it looks so different from all the rest. I mean, I'm picking them right here. You love that last one? This one? This is beautiful. This is absolutely stunning. I don't know why, other than just being busy and sidetracked and on a certain path and just did not go back and revisit these. This was in 2021 when I just sat down and made an entire shelf of these things. I just went nuts and said, mix, 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 mix. How many different color combinations could I come up with? And oh, there's a reason why I saved all these. Ha 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 ha. I actually like this smoky blue color. Not like this one that has a little purple. This is beautiful too. Okay, so there's a reason why I saved all these. You think? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. I know this is, oh, whoa, oh, here's a paler version of that. Yeah, that looks like a steel blade. Here was the other one that I said was kind of smoky colored. It really looks smoky on the brush. It's not that interesting on the brush. Yeah, it's just a variation of the last one, right? So I pick one or the other, and actually, I like the other one that I did first. So this one is not a keeper. We're just going to pick one. What did you just say? I thought you were me either. But Heather, going through all of the pigments that I've made for the last 19 years and getting these mystery boxes together for you guys, I am running across bling. Now we don't have enough blingets. These will be blingets, Heather. There's no actual color added to them. These are just the pure mineral blends that would go into the blinget line. So you could use them in anything. But going through these boxes and discovering primary elements that never made it over the past 19 years, and a lot of people want me to do another one. So basically, we're going to do like, the lost collection, but serpent something. Somebody just came up with rainbow serpent. Ooh, Australian Aboriginal. That is not a bad, by the way, rainbow serpent would be a great name for a color, or even just a, hey, Sherry, how you doing? Shirley, I've left you a couple messages, sweetheart, but I guess you're busy working. Can't blame you. They are beautiful. I know. And if I'm sitting on them and the recipe's already ready, these are going to go in some people's boxes. These ones right here you're seeing me play with. So why not get the recipes into the lab and make them, right? But something like this, as full as this is, it'll be split in half so two people can enjoy this color. I already have two people's names on the bottom of that jar, but people yelling out dibsies in the middle of the broadcast. I'll get the, I don't actually have enough jars to put these in so I can get you an image of these things. But yeah, you can use these in anything. Absolutely. She said she likes the straight blings because she can use them in her polymer clay. And she's right. You can use them in anything. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I'm not sure about this red one. It's okay. Well, it actually is interesting. It's got a lot of wine and copper in it, but I see a rainbow in it. But these, if any of these are different enough, this one, I'm calling it Perry Sparkle, and there's not very much left. Whoever said they want the dibsy on this. Yeah, but Carm, have you purchased a mystery box? These are going in the mystery boxes. We have half box and full boxes up on the website. So, yeah. Now, what I can do is maybe one of these blingets might be the bonus in the primary element set when it comes out. I've got a couple more. Yes, what? You want to get a mystery box? Or you just purchased a mystery box? Maybe I missed it. Ha! Hey, Shelly, it's so wonderful. Yeah, if you got a mystery box going with this, you can do some dibs. So, Heather, you got a mystery box. You want dibs on the lighter aqua or that darker one? By the way, thank you, Heather. Which on first and well, you wouldn't get both. If you're getting a mystery box, you'd probably get one or the other. You wouldn't get both of these in there. So I'll just put Heather's name on the bottom of this. Heather Barnes, right? Make sure I've got the right last name. Is it Barnes? Because I know you're going here by 1272. I just put Heather B on it. Okay, let's see what else we got here because we had 3 more to go. Either one will work for me. That's what she says. Now, the last couple we didn't try. They may look similar in the pot, but if I made them, either it was a variation of another one, or yeah, this one's pretty. Or there's something different in this, and just looking at the blue powder, you can't see the difference till I paint it out. So here's another one we haven't tried yet. I just called it blue, green, violet, whatever that means. So obviously there's blue, green, and violet in this thing. Oh yeah, that's different. It's not like this, and it's not like this. Okay, and it's got a little dark turquoise thing happening to it. Let me get more of it on there. Oh yeah, this paint's different. So that would be viable. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So if I end up with an extra one, maybe it can be a bonus, because here's a second one that may look similar to that. But I like these 10. I could do a 10-piece collection. I'm sure I can come up with 2 more blends here to do a full 12-piece. But the primary elements we know would be a 12-piece. Yeah, this has a little bit violet to it. This has a little purple tone to it. This has a little aqua tone to it. This has more of like a light blue tone to it. Let's see what we can do on this. My little freezer paper thingy is working here. See what see what they really look like when they're dry. I'm pretty excited about these. So I think this would make a great bonus color. And I'll mark this as the bonus for the set. For the dragon. Bonus for dragon set. Leslie's little handwriting. Yeah, gotten bad over time. Okay, so you're looking at my gourd in the back. Yeah, and as I started dabbling with these, I had another set of the paper. What about maybe the mixing blue and purple together with, well, yeah, with primary elements boysenberry, it'd be gorgeous. Oh my God, Sylvia's been calling me the last 2 mornings going, we can put these in the boxes. We can put these in the boxes. And so she's at the warehouse pulling more and more surprises for those mystery boxes that the crew's kind of getting excited about this whole mystery box concept. So besides what I have to do here, and Patty and I think Patty and I are just going to rip off the Band-Aid tomorrow and figure out, wait a minute, figure out where to start with. Heather, I want to order. Oh, yeah, I understand. Tax return. Thank you, sweetheart. Yeah. Hey, Pam, good to see you, sweetheart. Glad you're home. Hope everything's okay. I just noticed Pam Dabney's on here. All right, let's get some of these covered up, except the ones I think I'm going to use. I'm probably going to try to use this one. I like how this one looked. I did play with the gold, so I'm going to play with that again. I want to see what this purpley one looks like. Kind of purpley blue. And another blue violet looks like, and I'll keep the green, and everything else I'm going to put away, because I'm going to just try to show you how to get a little color on your gourd. I mean, a little shimmer on your gourd. We got some color on the gourd. And like I said, I couldn't believe Fairy Art Mother, was it Patty Simmons? Somebody said, I just ordered more gourds. Or they called me, where do I order gourds? Believe me, I never thought in a million years if I did a show and tell on a gourd I started 30-something years ago that you guys would be, sorry, I'm just covering these things up, would be even interested in that, right? I mean, it is kind of an art kind of that's out there. I mean, I love it. I was so fanatical about it. I went out and bought a ton of them, right? A, a whole Honda full of gourds and drove home 2.5 hours with all the gourds in the back. So, yeah. All right, let's get this thing reset. Get my gourd close enough so we can look at it. We got our little palette here. Now, I'm going to, just so I have a better paint palette to work with, I got some more freezer paper here. I don't think this is going to work. Now, you see, I really did use a canvas panel. And I just taped it down. I have part of this taped off, so I think I can get away with sliding it up underneath. I'm trying to cheat. And then tape it off on one side. And I made myself a little paint palette. Freezer paper and an old canvas panel, anything stiff, the back of a watercolor paper thing. Doesn't matter what it is, just so you got some place to mix them down and make a little palette. And this little palette's all sparkly, kind of enjoying all those colors there. Let's get this out of the way. All right, so I really liked what the aqua did when I played with this morning, so I'll show you. The purple was interesting. And like I said, I got a couple other colors I want to try. Let's get our gourd over here. So this morning, what I did while you guys were off camera, while we were all off camera, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see the shimmer, but I actually painted. Maybe what I can do is lift this thing up just a little bit more. Give me a minute, because it needs to go a little bit higher. That way we can slant it down. So I was able to, if you can get the light casting just right, this actually has a shimmer here. I put the aqua here. I put a little aqua here. And that's it. I was going to add the aqua to where I put the turquoise here. The thing is what I'm going to do is add the metallic highlights and then either go over with future floor polish, several coats, and it takes several coats to do it to get it shiny, like the red area is shiny. I could use epoxy that I've let set up for about 1 hour and 15 minutes, or a really shiny varnish, like that Bright Tone by Crystal Serpentine is very expensive. But since I have so much of that floor gloss, the future floor polish, and yes, there's other floor polishes you can use, I will try that first, but we're not going to be able to do that today. This stage is adding the shimmer to our gourd, okay? So what I'm going to do, let you see me mix these like I did before. Let's get a little bit of, let's see, get some of this aqua mixed up. Wait a minute, where's my angle brush? Uh-oh. I keep hitting my head on the camera. I'm sorry, it's at a very odd height. And so every time I turn my head, here's my angle brush. Okay, so let's take a little bit of this, mix this up. Take some of this is Joe Sonia, and I don't have gloss, any more gloss varnish. This is satin. Gloss may make a difference. Now I want to kind of get it into a little bit pasty, like it's creamy, not too watery. So I'm just dipping my brush directly into here, getting a little bit of it out and working with it. Okay, so now I've got a nice metallic, and you can do this on anything, not just a gourd, right? But you can always touch up a painting in certain areas where maybe you want to add some shimmer. And because these are kind of at an odd angle, it makes sense that I'm doing it upside down. I know it's going to seem kind of strange, but I've got a little bit of blue here. Let's add some blue shimmer. I'm just going to do highlights, not the whole thing, right? Just where some of that light blue's added. You can always take your finger, but be careful. This stuff is really strong and it's going to stick. So I can take my finger and kind of rub it out. Now you can see here where I put a different blue here. I tried the darker blue, and then this is the turquoise. So, of course, if I wanted the whole thing metallic, this is the way to do it. Do I want my flowers to shimmer? I don't want that much there. Wipe that off. Sadly, the Purely Pigments is going to dry really, really matte. So to blend those two together, I'm just taking plain varnish on my brush with no color at all. And while this one's still semi-wet, kind of try to blend it into the other color. So there's a softer transition, right? Same thing here. I can add a little bit of the light blue, that aqua color here, and I'm just adding highlight points. I'm not going to paint the whole thing that. I know I keep repeating myself, but in school, they teach teachers to say things 3 times. So it's like, look at what I'm doing, look at what I'm gonna do, look at what I'm doing, look at what I've done. And so I have a tendency to repeat myself. I apologize. So again, light blue highlight here and there, just to add the fantasy to this thing. After all, this is my gourd, right? Make sure I got those highlight points. So now I've done some highlights on all of that pale aqua. I'm going to take this darker blue, do the same thing. I'm going to make a little palette with it, but I'm just going to, I don't have to sit and move the gourd back and forth to show you this, just so you know, I'm mixing it the same way. Little bit of varnish on my brush, little bit of pigment, turn it into kind of a paste. This was the one that had the blue-green to it. There was another, oh, well, there was another one with more purple. I think that's the one I meant to use there because my crocus has purple on it, right? It's violet. The red violet's too red, but this blue violet will probably be dark enough. Yeah, this blue violet will look like it belongs. Oh, that's so pretty. Oh my God, that's gorgeous. Take this blue violet and paint it right on top of the violet areas. So I'm going to go over right here so it's all uniform because I don't know if that's the color I used this morning there. Do a little blue violet here. I'm just kind of grabbing one side again, not painting the whole thing, just highlights. Now, I didn't want to make my 33-year-old gourd an experiment, but hey, I've been working on this thing for 33 years. So who the heck am I kidding? It's been an experiment all these years, all the phases that I've been doing with that. So here I'm going to add my darker, hopefully when we put the varnish over the top, because mica allows light and minerals allow light to pass through it, the color base beneath will come through this shimmer I'm adding to the top. See that? Okay, so here's one that's a little bit matte. We've got some purple there. Let's add some of this blue, if I can get it there where you guys can see this. And it doesn't matter what you're painting. You could do this a touch-up. You can do this same touch-up to a pour. Areas where you want to add some little bit of bling-bling. Don't just think about this as just for a gourd. I just happen to be, this technique, I happen to just be stretching things because I'm using it on a gourd. But putting some of your minerals in varnish and using it to add some accents, you can do that with anything. You guys that are playing with the jasmonite or the aqua resin, whatever that stuff is called, that concrete stuff, texture paste, acrylic pours, pretty much anything. Because all this is varnish, and then the mica that's going to add a little pop to what you're doing. Let's get this now. I had that blue and purple since I mixed up some of that blue, and this is such a big space. I'm going to kind of do this blue-green on one side and go back and make sure that this purple blends into it. I hope it's not too, could be drying too quickly here. I don't need all these streaks. But under the varnish or whatever, it should be really shimmery. Okay, so you can see how matte this area looks considering how shiny that turquoise area is, right? So I'm going to go right here where the darkest area is and blend into the aqua. Blend into the aqua. Blend it in. I feel like I need a clean brush with just straight varnish on it. I'm running into a little area here where it's not blending that smooth. So just a little bit of plain varnish on my brush. We'll kind of soften it here. Not such a strong transition. And then I got a little more color on my brush so I can finish this very weird turn on this gourd. It's kind of hard to paint on a gourd on camera when I can't sit it in my lap and grab it. But so, okay, all this crocus now has a little bling. And when we, gotta let it dry, when we go over it with something shiny, especially see how that aqua is going to make it pop. It makes it look really dimensional. So I'm going to try a little bit of the green and the gold. I know the gold is really strong. I'm going to show you it's really, really gold. But over the stems, it might be interesting to do a mix of this gold powder with some of the varnish. And then everybody's favorite putrid green. Thank you, Renee. Everybody's favorite pukey green. Funky, it's kind of a dirty lime green because it's got red and violet in it. It almost looks like there's gold and orange and red and violet in that color. It's a really odd green. I think it's interesting. And then here's the gold. So let me get these jars out of the way because I'm going to be moving this gourd around. All right, so I saved these big areas so we could look at them. Now, my instinct actually is to do the highlight first with the gold. See how strong that is over this green. Can't wipe my brush off. And now I've got some of the green here. Now, it looks like it's blending in with my color. It probably is. But once we get to it shimmering, it will shimmer, shimmer, shimmer for us. We've got this stem. Let's get a little bit of color going down this stem here. Add a little flash to our stem. A little sparkle. It's amazing what you can do when you put your mind to it, right? I never thought I'd be painting a gourd on camera. Oops. See, now I have my mess there. So where is my cleanup tool? My cleanup tool is right here a second ago. Oh my goodness. Where is my cleanup tool? Well, all I can get my hands on right this very second is just the edge of a bamboo skewer that's got nothing on it. Because I'm trying to hold this thing at the same time and not let it drip. I think my cleanup tool dropped on the floor. What it is I'm taking an end of a bamboo skewer, wrapping some paper towel around it, spritzing it with my spray bottle, and I just made a little cleanup tool. So if I get too messy outside of the lines, I can clean it up. Go in there and kind of edge that out. Because if you get it right at that spot, you're not trying to, oh, it just dropped. Oh my goodness, that one just dropped on the floor as soon as I sat it down. I can't believe it. Here it is. Ha! I guess my point is the varnish dries really quickly, and so you're better off looking and cleaning as you're going on any surface, doesn't matter what you're painting on, versus that green kind of looks kind of pasty and red to me. I think I like this gold. And I'm also getting a sheerness to the gold. So I think I'm kind of enjoying what the gold is doing more to this. Now here's a big, giant, fat leaf that we painted over with Purely Pigments Venomous Viper and Rusted Oxide. So I'm going to start with the gold. Just kind of give it a little bit of a glaze here, a gold glaze. Then let's add some of this green. I love that's the name. Somebody came up with the name Serpentine. So like the Serpentine set could be the Bling It set and the Celestial Dragon. I know we'll figure out the names here in the next 48 hours, but you guys have come up with some great ideas here. I mean, that's kind of the whole point of this. Rome was not built in a day, and it does take a family, doesn't it? It takes a village, to raise the children? To raise your children, it takes a community. So I'm just taking that gold randomly, kind of highlighting the stems. I like what it looks better than that funky green right now. The green looks pasty, and I don't want it covering up what I'm doing. I like the gold just accenting these stems and leaves. And it's just going to add a metallic accent when I go over the top of it with a floor polish. So, oh, this was the one I just painted. Great. I got my fingers all over it. Fantastic. So I'll probably muck that one up. Now this is high enough where we can sit and paint it right on camera in front of you. I don't have to hold anything to show you how this works. Now that goes a little bit strong, but if I add a little bit just clear varnish, I can glaze with this gold blend over the top and just add a little hint, a little flash or a splash of sparkle to this thing. I'm seeing some names going on. Same stick, man. Same stick? What stick? Spreading some bling it. You can stick, man. You know what, though? You know what I got for my birthday? Light box. Now you can take any image that you like, stick it over the light box, put your paper over the top of it, and draw anything you like. So you're no longer the Serpentine set. Just Serpentine is a great name for a set, to be honest. I think that's a fantastic name. All right, now the butterfly. So I fooled around with this a little bit. I've really been trying to figure out how I'm going to jazz up my butterfly here. Now this gold I've been fooling around with, I'll make up a little bit more. I used it on the body. I'll show you a second. And at first I was worried it was a little bit strong, but as I've been painting it around on all these flowers, not so much. So this is the area where I had the bit of honey. I painted it with bit of honey here. And then the cotton candy is my highlight, and the cotton candy turned orange, right? So I'm just going to go over here with this beautiful gold color that we've got. Now, I don't want it too strong on top of that highlight color, so I'm just going to take some clear varnish and just spread it in there. But I don't want that gold directly on top of where the cotton candy is. I don't want to lose my highlight. I just want to add to what I'm doing. I don't want to take it away. Same thing here. I'm going to add some of the gold here. But in the highlight area, you can always add more color afterwards if you're not happy. But in the highlight area, just some plain varnish, wet up that highlight pink and kind of blend the gold up into it, but not actually let it take over. I don't want it to dominate. Now, same thing here, but I didn't do a highlight color on this. It deserves one. So this was also Bit of Honey. This color was Bit of Honey mixed with, I think, 6 drops Bit of Honey, 2 drops of the Aztec yellow is how I got this gold. And then that highlight that looks orange is me painting this cotton candy pink up there to make a highlight. I'm liking this. I'm liking what's happening with this gold here. Same thing. I'm going to do the gold. I know it's repetitious, but I'm going to do the gold on the bottom where the yellow is. Just take plain clear varnish and move it up here. So not to take away from that beautiful orange. It made a really pretty coral color. The cotton candy made a really pretty coral color when it went over the top of the Bit of Honey mix. So when you're painting something like this and you're going to put the same color on all different things, you know, you don't want to change the brush. So you're going to say, okay, I'm going to do here, 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 all with the same color. That's not too bad. And then the body, I'll do the body with the gold, the little tail here, because it's kind of in that gold range anyway, this goldy family. A little bit of just pure varnish to get it to smooth out. Incidentally, did everybody see the sale I put up yesterday? I didn't say it on camera. Right now, all primary elements in resin are marked down. You don't need a coupon. And of course, if you're a founding member of the club, you get an extra 10% off. So go take a look if you've got some primary element colors you guys need to catch up on because they're on sale right now. All right, let's see what else we got going on. This I used the peachy pink, that color that Catherine Mefford loves. And here this morning, I tried to put that aqua over the blue. I didn't like what it looked like. Quite frankly, this purpley color really excites me because it turned kind of pink when we mixed it up on our little sample thing. And obviously, this is a pinky violet. If we're going to, you know, do violet, you definitely want it in a pink tone to match what we're doing there. So I'm mixing up some of this color into a little paste. I know you can't see me do it because it's on my, practically on my lap. That's not bad. It needs a little more varnish, a little bit too pasty. Okay, let's see what happens here. I want to do these back ones first and see what happens. Oh, that's pretty over that peach. That's going to sparkle. We painted it with, I think, the original lab sample for Flamingo Feather, which had a little shimmer to it, but it wasn't showing up that much. But that's adding a nice little shimmer and shine on top of that peach color. I'm digging that. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to add this purple on top of the pink. Because again, it's translucent enough where the pink below is going to dominate how this finally dries and looks when we put the future floor polish over the top. So that pink base is going to dominate more than that peach base did. I'm really liking that gold with that. I'm going to use that combination again. Bit of honey with the cotton candy. I am in love with that combination. I have to paint something with that combination. And I wouldn't have discovered it if I wasn't playing with this gourd with you guys. So thank you so much for me just kind of like ripping off all the 33 years of the past and say, hey, let's get it on with our gourd. Let's get our gourd on, right? So I don't know if I got enough on here. Let me get a little bit more to get a little bit of sparkle on that thing. A little more varnish. I'm just trying to glaze it. So when we go over with this Future Floor Polish, we're going to get a little more of a shimmer and a shine. Now, someone mentioned they love the red area. You don't know how many times, how many layers of paint to get this to show up. And this was years ago. Of course, now that we know what nice what, sweetheart? She said nice buys. Oh, yeah, the individual. Yep, individual. Thank you, John, for putting the individuals up. Thank you so much for saying it's a good match. I think so too. Anyway, this red was painted probably 17, 18 years ago when I launched the Primary Elements. And I wasn't as good at painting as I feel like I can be now. So it's quite possible to see me come back and do like how I covered this with Purely Pigments. And I ended up covering this with the Purely Pigments in the last segment because they were pink like this, right? The crocuses were originally like this. Those are the ones painted years ago. And I tried to get some interference, some sparkle to show up, and this it didn't do too well. So I know I'm going to end up covering up the crocuses and doing this treatment. But it took me months and months and months to carve the back. Then it took forever to carve out the designs. This thing's been years in the making. And so it's kind of exciting to see some progress happening to this thing. So I think I'm going to stop there for now because we actually have work to do. I got Patty coming. Eek! Patty's going to come to my messy house. I need to pick it up a little bit for her. But I want to get these recipes done. I like these 10 that I've chosen. I think I can go with the 10 plus 1. If I stumble on a couple more, this set could end up being the 12. But Patty's saying, don't get too excited about me offering to clean the house. Not that great, but I know, sweetheart. You're helping me to pull off the Band-Aid. And I was scolded this morning by my friend saying, let her come in, let her help you pull off the Band-Aid, and then everybody else can come and you won't be so fearful. What's holding me back is not wanting anybody to come in the house and see the disarray of the studio where I live. And sometimes you just got to get over that, right? Okay, business goes. We have discount on the Primary Element individuals and the Resin Art individuals. You guys with your 10% code get extra discount. The mystery boxes, we still have some full and half boxes left. Probably about a third of them left out of the original amount. So if you want them, don't waste too much time. And if you're wondering what's in them, they're going to include quite a few ounces, about 24 ounces of lab samples, blingets. Sylvia, bless her heart, is pulling all kinds of surprises for you guys to pack in the box that she's finding at the warehouse besides what I have to pack out here. So that's going on. Members, I have to get on the front page, but before you place an order, make sure you do search right now for free product, for free sample product. Just make sure those words are in there. It's going to pull up a link for you to click on and add your free sample of the week to the order. That's only for founding members right now. So that's going on. And no, I haven't gotten, everybody keeps asking, I haven't gotten the neons individuals up there yet. I've been a bit stretched, but I hope you can appreciate. I've been missing in action. No, Kathleen and Catherine, you guys are awesome. Anyway, thank you so much for your time. I love seeing you guys. I will be back on Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And until then, love you guys. Hugs and kisses.